you know she's bad for you. She's chaotic, she's a little bit disrespectful, she's manipulative, but the sex is out of this world. That's not a coincidence, and it's not love either. So we're going to talk about why sex with toxic women is phenomenal. I want you to imagine that you're in the role of one of your favorite RPGs. And usually when you start these things out, the stats that are given to you by the game are similar to the stats that you're given from your parents. And while you're building your character, right, you get to choose your name and all these other things. And yes, you get to choose your stats and where they're allocated, but you're only given a certain amount. Like, you can't max out your character's strength and their intelligence and their speed and their agility and their luck and all these other stats that they might have, right? You've got a certain amount of them that, yes, you can earn more in your life, absolutely, but you're only given a certain amount when you start out. Broke boys and toxic women seem to take all of their stats and put it all into sex because they don't really have much else going for them. It's not to say they don't have stats in any other category, but there is a huge bump in their sex category as opposed to, say, their wealth category, their intelligence category, and God knows their stable category. Stable, that's for horses. It's because those stats are pretty much only allocated to their sex drive that they lack on pretty much every other category in life. That's what makes them toxic, right? Because they're not emotionally mature, they're not the greatest partners in the world, they don't have a lot of money, and they can't really carry a conversation very well, but in the bedroom is where they really shine. And I don't know, man, like, I try to figure out the harness, but there's like a lot of instructions and it's just difficult to really know exactly how to tie it and strap it right. And it's just annoying. You know, like, I'd rather just get a chair. My mind is wandering and I need to get back to the video. Okay, but what's really happening in your brain? It's more like a chemical trap, like a chemical cocktail that keeps you hooked. And this is what nice guys fail to understand, is that your brain bonds to intensity, not stability. And unfortunately, stability is like the main ingredient to a long-term healthy relationship, but toxic women, toxic guys have figured out, even subconsciously, that if they just give you enough of a high, if the sex is just good enough, it'll keep you coming back over and over and over again. And it's like, hey, if you're not, held down by somebody else, and even if you are, it's really hard to stay away from those highs because, yeah, this guy makes me feel good 24/7, but this guy can make me feel insane for an hour. We've all had to block or detach from our toxic ex, even though she was really good in bed. And yeah, with the highs come the lows. But it's like the makeup sex, even after the lows, for some reason feels even better. So it's like you want to go through the lows on purpose just so that you can have good makeup sex. I feel like there's a percentage of people, myself included, they're going to be watching this video, and even as I'm filming it, you kind of realize that I'm not a good person. Like, moving on. There is a significant difference, though, between passion and an emotional roller coaster. And it's the highs and the lows and then the making up from the lows that really keep you coming back for more again and again and again. And it's your nervous system that mistakes that chaos for closeness. Because yes, you get a huge dopamine spike, don't get me wrong, but you get a little drip every single day from a person that's more stable, right? And it's long term and it's going to be like this, right? But with the girl that's toxic, you're going to get those highs and you're going to get those lows. And it's going to constantly go like this and constantly go like this and constantly go like this. Whereas someone who's stable is going to keep you about right here. Just enough dopamine, you'll be just fine. It's not chaotic, it's nothing like that. But it's like we all want a little bit of chaos. Sex is the closest physical thing that you can do with somebody. It's mistaking that closeness for actual chemistry. It's like you get that high, you're with them, maybe even for a day or two, a weekend, something like that, and then they pull away again, or you pull away again. I was always taught that a man should find a woman that's fantastic in bed, and that's loving and emotionally mature, and that's fun to be around. And the most important rule is that these women can never meet. That's such an old joke. I remember hearing that when I was younger. What happens is you begin to associate that sex, that high, with validation, with emotional control, and of course with relief, even physical relief. Like, it's not just emotional relief, it's physical relief. And that's what makes it so intoxicating. But again, you're not in love with them. You're chemically codependent on them. Oscar Wilde had a really good saying, and he said, everything is about sex, except for sex, which is about power. And here's what he meant by that. Women often use sex as a way to get a relationship or trap a man inside feelings or a relationship with her. Whereas men use a relationship to trap or get sex from a girl. It works out really well if it's healthy. It's like when we have sex with the other person, that's this chaos wrapped in this hot dress that we think we're gonna tame her, or she thinks she's gonna tame us. And if we can tame the other person, right? If we could just calm that chaos at will, then we can make that other person finally love us. It becomes a game of control and validation. It's like you're trying to earn her affection in bed because you can't earn it in the daylight. Men, women know how to weaponize intimacy. And here's the difficult part, is that good women and toxic women will study you. They'll learn your patterns. They'll learn what you like and what you don't like. They'll learn your insecurities, your turn-ons, and use all of it to get what they want. And at some point, man, you just gotta sit back and go, use me, my body is ready. Seriously though, it's like they give you just enough to keep you hooked, to keep you coming back for more, to make sure that you don't ever fully move on from them. The bedroom is where you are given a taste of heaven so that you'll tolerate hell. This is especially true if during childhood you are used to chaotic parents, so that this chaos inside of the relationship is just normal for you, but at least the sex you get is great, as opposed to sex you get with your uncle, which was always like, just stare at the TV and pretend nothing's happening. I don't know how much longer this channel is gonna last, man. I'm gonna get canceled. The point is, if you grew up around emotional instability, that's the word, this kind of dynamic feels familiar. It's what you're gonna be more comfortable with, even though it's not healthy. It's kind of like if you grew up eating nothing but McDonald's and Burger King, kind of like I did. Then when you grew up into your adult life, even into your early 20s, eating fast food all the time, especially if you're an American, is so normalized. Like, I had to learn how to cook in my mid-20s, and now I cook pretty much every day. And you think you're getting love from this other person, right? You think you're getting that dopamine, you're getting turned on by them, and yeah, maybe a little bit of that's true, but really it's just an emotional cocktail. It's the trauma bond that you formed with this other person that's really keeping you addicted and keeping you coming back. Here's what to do instead. Recognize the trap without judging yourself. You're not weak, you're not broken, okay? This is something that every guy I want to say hopefully goes through, just so you know exactly how it feels. You're not just psychologically hooked though. You are chemically hooked to this other person. It's an addiction. But even having awareness of it significantly weakens that power. And here's the thing, distance will kill that addiction. You will not heal while you are sleeping with her. If you think you're going to hold her in your arms after just getting done stuffing her head in a pillow, you are not going to heal from that woman. In my personal opinion, if you can have a healing weekend every now and again, you deserve to have a toxic weekend every now and again, man. Enjoy yourself. Just don't let it become an addiction. It's like drinking, cigarettes, or anything else. Sure, you could make the excuse that just doing it every once in a while is not that bad, okay. But every time you go back, it's gonna reinforce that trauma bond. She's not the future mother of your kids. She's not your future wife. Stop painting her face as this fantasy projection. That did not come out right. I'm just gonna move on from that statement. I promise you, I understand. You've got to cut this woman off. You've got to block her, and I'm not even a fan of blocking. You watch my other videos, I'm telling you, no, don't block an ex. That just means you're not over her, blah, blah, blah. Screw that. When it comes to toxic pussy, you got to block that thing, because it will come back and it will ruin your life. And it's like it'll ruin it in the best way possible, sure, but if you wanna have a healthy life, whatever that is, you've got to detach yourself from her. And you can only fix yourself by withholding access to her. You've got to rebuild that instability and that chaos with stability, with strength. And this is so important. You've got to learn how to recognize a healthy attraction, a healthy relationship, because yes, they are going to be a little bit more boring just from the day to day. That's not to say you're not going to have your highs and your lows there, but the dopamine that you're going to get from them, that slow and steady drip, is going to feel so much better, so much more relaxing, especially if you're that person, if you're that securely attached person in that relationship. You're going to be able to let your partner rest in your frame, rest inside of the boundaries that you've drawn, and she'll let you take the lead gladly. You need to be seeking emotional safety and not emotional highs. And this is what people do when they skip, when they monkey branch from one man to another or one woman to another, is that they're constantly going through honeymoon phases, right? It's that constant high that they're constantly chasing. And they think that as long as they have that high, I'm in love with the other person and they're in love with me. When that high fades, they don't know what to do with this steady drip, that strong bond that begins to form only after that honeymoon phase ends. So what do? They get rid of the person that they're with because obviously I don't love them anymore and they don't love me. The feeling's gone because they only relate love to the feeling, only relate love to the dopamine without realizing that the cause and the effect are being switched. So they monkey branch to the next guy and they have a honeymoon phase with him for a couple weeks, a couple months, however long it lasts. And then when that's over, they monkey branch to the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. All the while, they're just collecting X's in their phone, in their head. It doesn't matter. They're just going to recycle them over and over again. And when they have a night of weakness, when their current situation pisses them off, they're going to hit up their old ex, and they're going to say, hey, what are you doing tonight? And it's all over from there. It's people who are emotionally dysregulated and who are emotionally immature that seem to be dominating the dating space right now. Nobody seems to be moving on from their exes. Nobody seems to be wanting anything other than sex. And I want to leave you with one thought, and please pay attention to this. The best sex you're going to have is not going to be wild and chaotic. It's going to be the most connected. Because when you're truly in love with the other person and they're in love with you and you connect with them on that level, it doesn't matter what position you're in, who spits in whose mouth. Damn it, brain, focus on the video. It only matters about the connection that you have with the other person, and the physical connection that you have with them now only heightens the experience, only heightens the emotional closeness that you already have. That's an actual bond. That dopamine will far exceed anything that you had with your chaotic ex. So yeah, sex with a toxic woman is amazing, but it costs you your peace, your clarity, and your power. You're not just giving her your body, you're giving that other person your self-worth. And if you want to feel alive again, stop mistaking destruction or that dopamine high for desire and connection. Lil bro, Lil sis, you've got this and I've got you. Also, don't forget, I do have my links in every bio and every video. So if you want to schedule something with me, whether that's getting an ex back or just something for your mental health, let me know, schedule something with me, and I'll see you guys next time.